6-2 in the American Conference last year. UCF loses the Military Bowl to Duke. Shout out Riley Leonard again. UCF had John Rice Plumlee returning, which he's a runner for sure. He led UCF in passing and rushing. So hey, look, if it's one thing Gus Malzahn's going to do, he's going to recruit a running quarterback. That's for sure. So moving on, they lost Isaiah Bowser, who was more so like the red zone, hand the ball off, plowed to get a touchdown. Ryan O'Keefe transfers to Boston College, as previously mentioned in our ACC preview. Johnny Richardson, he's I think he's more so like a running back, wide receiver, like gadget guy. I think you can put them both. He returns. Javon Baker returned 12 starters, 6 on offense, 6 on defense. They had 18 transfers, so that's a lot. Go ahead, Ace.
Yeah, it's no mistake that this team wants to run the ball. You know what I mean? The ground game is definitely their strength. Like you said, they have they're 5-0 when they average 5.5 yards per carry or more. 7-0 when rushing over 210 yards. 0-4 when they don't get 160 yards rushing. And over the past 2 years, they've been 17-2 when over 160 yards rushing. 1-7 when they didn't. So, like you said, the run game is pivotal for this team. And I think they have the offense that can come in the Big 12 and make an immediate impact. They did lose 3 offensive lineman starters from 2022, especially their star center who went to the U. But they bring in Alabama transfer Amari Knight and a stud from Kent State, Marcellus Marshall. So that should help restock their offensive line and hopefully give them the push that they need. They got R.J. Harvey, who's a returning running back who was split in time last year, but still had 804 yards and 5 touchdowns and averaged 6.7 yards per carry. Like you said, with Plumlee, he's a pretty good player. Over 800 yards rushing, over 2,500 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I don't really see the offense being a problem for them. The defense is where we'll definitely see what they're made of. Their strength is their defensive line. It's good, but it's not elite. You know what I mean?
They lost Big Cat Bryant, didn't they?
I think so, but I know they bring back Tremont Morris-Brash, who's pretty much the key to the pass rush. He's the returning sack and tackle for loss leader for the team. And the back 7 of that defense has a lot of questions. They bring back leading tackler Jason Johnson, who had 126 tackles last season, and they bring in Clemson transfer Fred Davis, who will compete for the number 1 corner spot. He may boost that secondary, but it still would need a lot of help.
All right, so let's throw some numbers out there. 31st in scoring offense, 9th in rushing offense. Like we said, they're going to run that rock. 46th in scoring defense, 69th in total defense, and 16th in third down conversion percentage. Normally don't really throw that out there, but 16th is actually really good. So shout out to them. 38th overall recruiting class. Like I said, Gus Malzahn is going to offense. Gus Malzahn specialty. We're going to jump into the schedule where they play Kent State. Shout out to Mac, but I have UCF taking the W.
Yeah, I have them taking a W as well. I think in these first 3 weeks, they are their only guaranteed wins, and it's not Boise State, but the other one after that.
Well, Boise State lost Hank Bachmeier, who kind of got benched last year, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But next game at Boise State on the blue turf, which I have UCF taking the W.
I have them taking the W as well, but I don't think that's a guaranteed.
All right, from Boise State, we go to FCS Villanova. This ain't basketball. Give me UCF.
For sure. Give me UCF on that one.
All right, then first game for them at Big 12 play at Kansas State. As previously stated, I have an L.
I have an L as well.
Then we go to Baylor at home, where I have a W, as previously stated.
I have them taking an L at Baylor.
All right, from Baylor to at Kansas, where I have another L for UCF.
Another L as well for them. Jayhawks get them.
Yep, and from Kansas to at, I can do this. All right, so I have W's for the rest of the schedule. At Oklahoma, a W. West Virginia, a W. At Cincy, a W. Oklahoma State, a W. At Texas Tech, a W. I ain't trying to hear it, Ace. And then final game, senior day, Houston as a W. Go ahead, Ace.
So basically, they're your Texas Tech. What you're telling me?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So I have them taking an L to Oklahoma, a W against West Virginia at home. I have them going into Cincinnati and getting a W. I have them taking an L at home against Oklahoma State, a L against Texas Tech, and a W against Houston.
So I have UCF being 10-2, 7-2 in conference play, making them bowl eligible. Go ahead, Ace.
Yeah, 10-2 is insane. I have them at like 7-5 or 6-6.
Hey, look, you got your Texas Tech one off. I got my UCF one off. We even.
Hey, everybody got one, man.
All right, and for the last team of the Big 12, we.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.